afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Carol Van Gorp, CEO of the Realtors Association of the Palm Beaches. And with me is our president, Bill Richardson.
Hi, everybody.
And Bill's a busy DR with Kai's company. And so we're glad to have you here as always. So, Bill, how are you?
Carol, good. I'm doing great. We're very, very busy right now, both with association business, as you know, and some of the things we're trying to get accomplished this year. And personally, with real estate business right now, it's going great guns. My office in January didn't close. We had over 200 transactions between new business, closed business, listings. So it was very, very busy.
That's great.
Yeah.
Busy is good. Closings are better, huh?
Busy is good. Closings are good. New business is good. So it's a very opportunistic market, and that's kind of what we want to get across to all the members out there is that while what you see on the media and the housing market and the foreclosure crisis and all of that is being portrayed on the media, there are some really, really strong opportunities to make money in this market as a realtor, and we're here to help you try to do that.
I know I moved here from central Missouri, and as you know, they had a huge snowfall of historic amounts.
My family's out there right now. Yeah, my sister and her family moved into a hotel room yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Because their electricity goes out when they get heavy, heavy storms, and this was supposed to be the worst one.
Yeah, it had a lot of ice with it, so that really brought down the power lines. But yeah. I put on my Facebook page for all my realtor friends in Missouri, I said, rather than sit at home, why don't you let your fingers do the walking and talk to your potential clients, because now would be a great time to send some referrals down here to Florida.
Absolutely. We, hate to see the rest of the country get hit, with these kind of storms, but every time this happens, it's an influx of business coming, and people are looking at South Florida, and what is it today? It's sunny and about 78, 79. Would I rather be here? Would I rather be in Missouri? I think I'll pick here.
I remember about a year ago I was talking to you, and you were describing the weather, and I was like, I'm ready to come.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad, South Florida.
So, many of you might know that we have recently started doing statistics as a member benefit. We are the only association that has all of the statistics for Palm Beach County. They've been out on our website for 4 or 5 months now. If you go to our website, which is rapb.com, and look on the right-hand side, there's like a little orange house. And if you click on that, you will see all our latest statistics. And so, Bill, being our resident guru, how's it looking to you?
This is a great report. I actually took time in my sales meeting last Thursday to go over this and make sure my associates had it. I say all the time that information is power. And it's interesting because we sat at Carol, you were there at the Florida Realtors Board of Directors meeting a week or so ago. And one of the major issues at Florida Realtors was the fact that we've been getting the statistics you see in the newspaper and the statistics that you see coming out in the media regarding Florida and regarding Palm Beach County have been coming through the Florida Realtors Association. I keep wanting to say FAR. Through the Florida Realtors from the University of Florida, who's been providing those numbers. And I got to tell you, they're not very accurate. And the analysis being done on them is not very good. And that was apparent when we voted at the Board of Directors to bring in John Tassillo, a former NAR chief economist with the Florida Realtors, to put together our own statewide statistics package. That's probably not going to be in place and running probably until August at the earliest. What we've done at RAPB is phenomenal. Our numbers that we're able to give our members to share with their sellers and share with their buyers and so that you get a real sense of the market, are state-of-the-art numbers that nobody else has. And so much more accurate than what the media is actually getting from Florida realtors. So, they're not cheap. So this is definitely a member benefit that you're getting as a member of RAPB. And the numbers, the trends, the graphs that we're able to put together on all kinds of sales, not just listings and closed sales, but sale prices, trends on REOs, on foreclosures, on distressed property, very, very helpful. In fact, I'll bet there's a few things in here that most of you out there probably didn't realize unless you've looked at this information. Let me just go to one area of this report. There's a couple of things that I think would be very, very useful to know. If you know absorption rate, it's a statistic we realtors use all the time. And a lot of people don't understand what that is, but it measures, it takes into account supply and demand, and it's measured in months on the market. And absorption rate really is if you took a snapshot right now of all the active listings in Palm Beach County, just active listings, and you took that snapshot and then you looked at the rate of sales over the last 12 months divided by 12, it would tell you how many months at this rate of sales it would take to absorb the inventory that's on the market right now. That's if no other listings came on the market. And it's a really good statistic because it measures both of those things. Well, here's some interesting information. In 2010, month supply at the end of the year, in December, was 12.1 months. A balanced market nationally is considered 6 to 7 months, so we're still on the buyer's market side. But contrast that 12.1 months to what it was in 2007 and 2008, which was more than double that. It was 30 months in 2007 and 25.6 months in 2008. We're down to 12.1 months. If you take the high-end properties out of that, we're down actually under 10. So what that tells you is this market is becoming more balanced. Sales, the rate of sales is very, very good right now. And that's a positive sign. We are starting to recover. And one of the other things I wanted to go over is a lot of people think that there's a huge amount of distressed property on the market. And while there is a pretty good amount, let me give you some numbers that, may surprise you. Okay? Of the homes sold in 2010, 23.7% were distressed sales, and that's either a short sale or an REO. Okay? 23.7. A lot of people would sit there and think, well, it's more like 40, 50, 60%.
Yeah, that's 1 out of 4.
Right. It's not. So 23.7% in 2010 and 22.2% in 2009, so not that much of a change. But guess what it was in 2007? 1%. So there you go. There's the market in microcosm right there, from 1% in 2007 to 23.7% in 2010. So, you've got to compete as a seller with these properties. I mean, appraisers are using them as comparable sales, so you need to price the property right. These are great numbers and presented really well for you to take on a listing appointment, put it in the form of a PowerPoint slide or keep it in paper form, and also use with your buyers as well. I mean, it really is good stuff, and when you look at it all, you put it all out there, I think it makes you knowledgeable, it makes you the professional, it makes you the expert in the market, and that's what we're trying to do and help you do.
I'll tell you one thing, that right now those can be downloaded from our website, but we're just getting ready to come up with our new website, and when we do, This is going to be password protected so that only RAPB members can get to these statistics.
Yeah, you and I were both at a seminar. It was an installation, but he had guest speaker Terry Watson, a few weeks ago, and he said something very, very interesting, and it applies to the stats. He said, be the source of the source, but not the source. That's really important for your liability reasons. And what you are with these numbers are you're the source of the source, but not the source. And so you're laying that liability off on somebody else. It gives you a lot more credibility as well.
And one of the things I liked about it was they have the top 5 and the bottom 5 in each category.
Right.
And then we had them add at the end all of the information. So, for instance, I used to have a home in Delray Beach, and if Delray wasn't in the top 5 or the bottom 5, well, where was it? And so you can look up and see all that information in the back.
Yeah, it really breaks it down. For those of you that work in specific markets within Palm Beach County, it breaks it down by city and municipality so that you can see how they stacked up against, the other cities and municipalities in Palm Beach County. So, some other interesting things that are in here. I mean, new listings were up in 2010 versus 2009, and closed sales were up in 2010 versus 2009. And I'll bet if I said to somebody out there, what do you think has happened? Because this is what the homeowners are concerned about. The median sales price.
And the median is the price at which half the homes are on one side and the other half are on the other. So
exactly.
They like to use median versus average.
Exactly. And, average would be just you total up all the sales, the total volume divided by the number of sales. Median is exactly what Carol said. So when you look at, what is happening with median sales prices, let me give you just one quick thing on median sales price. I'm going to give you 3 categories: short sales, foreclosures or REOs, and traditional sales. So isn't that nice having those graphs on all 3 of those sales? So here's what happened on short sales in 2010, Palm Beach County. Median price down 14.7% from 170 to 145 on a short sale. Foreclosures, you're playing in a smaller, lower price market. Foreclosure prices down 20% from 103 250 to 82 and change. Traditional sales not down as much, down 11.9% from 176 to 155. So you can see over the course of the last year, pricing has continued to erode a little bit, which is what's brought the buyers into the market. You've got a tremendous amount of foreign investment coming into this market right now, of second home buyers. How many Canadians and South Americans are out there right now that 4 or 5 years ago, affording a place in South Florida looked very difficult. But right now, it looks a lot easier. And so they're out there, and we're getting a lot of sales right now. So they're great numbers for you to use with either buyers or sellers, but it makes you that much better than the other realtor out there that doesn't have these numbers. They're great numbers. So.
Well, just before we went on the air, a reporter called and left a message for me, and he asked if I knew of any hot neighborhoods. And my answer basically was he has to talk to a real realtor about it. But do you know of any really hot neighborhoods that are out there?
Well, I can tell you, do I know of hot neighborhoods? Yes, I know of hot neighborhoods. Hot meaning they're very desirable. A lot of people looking to buy in those neighborhoods. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're not being affected by what's happening in the economy and the market as well. So I guess that depends on your definition of hot, on how that is.
Definitely me, yes.
Yes. But, looking what you mentioned it before. What's nice is you get the top 10 and top 5 and bottom 10 and bottom 5 cities for different types of numbers in here. So, which is really good. I mean, for closed sales, for instance, top 5 cities change in home sales from 2009. Not gross, but the change. Ocean Ridge and Pahokee. For you realtors up there in Pahokee, Pahokee was up 83.3%. Then you've got Lake Clark Shore, South Bay, and Belglade. And median sales prices. Here's something. Change in median sales price from 2009 to 2010. Okay? Pahokee. Obviously, if we want to buy some hot property, we've got to go to Pahokee.
But there are like 3,
Pahokee was number 1. They were up 81.9% in median sales price. I mean, you know, I should be selling out of Boca and going to Pahokee. South Bay, Juno Beach, Hope Sound, Ocean Ridge. The bottom 5 cities, Riviera Beach, West Palm Beach, Green Acres, South Palm Beach, Belglade. So, Belglade's down, Pahokee's up.
Go figure. So we've got lots of other business going on at the board. Maybe everybody'd like a little update on the MLS situation.
We do. There's, you know, one of the things I wanted to do, it's something that I had been thinking about for a long time, and when I was installed as president of RAPB, I made it a major topic of my agenda, and that is to get our MLS system talking with Fort Lauderdale's MLS system, with Miami's MLS system, on a common forum so that you have seamless data exchange and you've got, you know, broader geographical access to seamless data. So Showing Assist talks over all 3 systems so that the average realtor out there doesn't have to belong to 2 or 3 different MLS systems if they want to do business from Miami to Port St. Lucie or beyond. And I'm happy to report, as difficult as that has been over the years, I believe we're on our way to doing that. And I sincerely hope, and I will do everything I can do to help make this happen, I know Kara will, by the end of this year and hopefully much sooner, we will have those systems talking to each other, and you will have better seamless access. And going along with that, we wanted to see if we could, you know, streamline those organizations a little bit and give you a little bit of a break on what you pay on your combined dues to MLS and RAPB, and we're working on that as well. So, you know, it's been a lot of fun so far. It's been challenging, but I think we're making progress. Large part thanks to you, by the way.
Thank you. It has been a lot of work, and, you know, it's a lot of people talk about running an association, and I'd say a lot of times it's like herding cats. Well, getting association leaders from several groups together to try to come up with one solution has been challenging, but been fun.
It is challenging, and what is at the base of all of this is I'm trying to take the view and trying to promote the view that this is all about you. It's all about the members. It's all about the dues-paying realtors out there. This isn't about, you know, different associations and organizations and, you know, what we can do to, you know, get more money and get more members. This is about making it easier and more profitable for you to do business. And we're trying to take that focus and run with it, and I think we're getting there. It's a tough process, but we're getting there. So hopefully you'll get some benefit on that by the end of the year.
Danielle, do we have any questions from anybody? Those of you who are watching, speak now. Thank you so much. Bill, I really appreciate you being here.
Sure, it was a pleasure. I love spending time here with all these great professional people at the association. I mean, it's a pleasure to work with everybody here.
Thank you. And thank you for watching.
Thanks.